I played 100 days of Stardew Valley, but I used the MARGO mod. Hello everybody, this is GamerGar. Welcome back to another 100 days Stardew Valley challenge. For the purposes of today's video, we're going to play through one whole year of Stardew Valley, but we're using a mod called MARGO. MARGO means Modular Gameplay Overhaul, and it's basically a complete and comprehensive rework of Stardew Valley gameplay mechanics. We're going to try and reach perfection using the new mechanics imposed by this mod. So without further ado, let's jump straight into this video and let's have some fun. A huge thanks to all my channel members. Thanks so much everyone for supporting me thus far. I really appreciate it. It is day number 1 on our Four Corners farm, and we start by whacking some weeds, cutting down some trees, and we're going to make our usual chest to store all items in that we don't need at the moment. Once the chest has been placed, we're going to run around the entirety of the map and try to collect as many forageables as possible. But before we do that, we're going to hold the ground up and plant our free 15 parsnip seeds before we proceed. Once all of the forageables have been collected, we more or less spend the rest of the day just mining and cutting down trees on the farm. We're also going to visit the beach to see if we can get any sort of artifacts that we can give into Gunther for a handy 250 gold. You might remember in the last video challenge that we did, there was one artifact that I could not get for the life of me to complete all of the artifacts found in the game, and that was, you guessed it, the trilobite. Well, guess what? The first artifact we found in this challenge was in fact the trilobite. I feel like the game just likes to tease me sometimes. But we handed that in. That was 250 gold. That's extra money to buy some more crops off Pierre. And we're going to start with buying some kale. Kale is great crop for growing and for selling. It's also very nice for energy as well, but we're not going to be using it for energy. We just want money at the moment. So I got some skill ups today, mining and foraging. I can now make wild seeds for spring, which is really nice. So I'm going to plant those in the ground. We are going for tea saplings after all. We get the fishing rod off Willy. We're going to pull up some fish. The whole day is spent fishing, and look what we got. Super lucky, a broken trident. Because of the MARGO mod, it has been reworked. It is now a much more powerful weapon. It does come with a drawback though, minus 10% resistance. That means we're more than likely to get debuffs from enemies if we are attacked. The next day, I'm going to get the fiberglass rod off Willy, going to get some trout soup, and we are going catfish hunting. The more catfish we can get, the more money we're going to get. Level 5 fishing, the MARGO mod has reworked all professions in the game. Trapper now is crab pots are cheaper to craft, but also can trap higher quality fish. But we're going to take fisher. Bait is double the effectiveness as what it used to be. That means using regular bait and wild bait, we're going to be able to get fish much faster. So I'm going to sell all this fish to Willy now instead of putting it in the shipping bin later. Reason for this, I just want to get a much larger backpack, so I'm not throwing items away. I'm going to try to get this as early as possible, and getting it on day number 4 was a game changer for me. Day number 5, it is time to collect all of our lovely parsnips. I'm going to sell those, of course, along with the pink cake and the cookies, because I want to make as much money as possible. Once all these items have been sold, I am going to purchase more seeds off Pierre, including a bean starter, because you guessed it, we're going the community center route in this video. We're not going to be going Georgia route. I'm going to challenge myself and go the community center route. It is going to be much harder for me, but it's always good to mix it up every couple of videos. I put down loads of potatoes. They're going to sell for lots of money. Great thing about potatoes is that sometimes you can pull up an extra potato. That's extra money. I also fixed a bridge. Go over to the tide pools. More forageables for me. More money. I'm going to complete the spring foraging bundle. The reward, 30 free spring seeds ready to go, ready to be planted. We're now going to make some progress in the mines. I do have the broken trident. The weapon is an absolute beast. Its secondary attack, the multi-hit, will one-shot more or less any enemy in the game, including most of the Skull Cavern enemies. That is how strong the broken trident actually is. As you can see, the starter slimes are no match for the weapon. So the great thing about the MARGO mod is it reworks all of the chest rewards also. So I was expecting nether boots when I got floor 10, but instead I got 15 bombs. I was actually very happy with that. To get that amount of bombs early on was a game changer. It was Mayor Lewis's birthday today. I gave him a daffodil because he likes those. That's extra friendship points for him. We are going for perfection after all. I got rubber boots from killing an enemy. It's just +1 immunity, but it's better than nothing. Because of the MARGO mod, a lot more crates now have spawned in most of the levels in the mines. Crates are now very common, and when I see crates, I do destroy them. They're really good for hardwood also. Floor 30, I got some survival burgers. They're really good for foraging. But floor 40, I got 2 rain totems. To get those this early is a game changer. I can make it rain the next day, no problem, for a double rainy day, because tomorrow is a natural rainy day. Down to floor 48, as we can see, the mid-tier enemies are no match for the broken trident. When I got to floor 50, I got 2 commodity sprinklers. I was over the moon with that. The sooner I can set my farm up with sprinklers, the better. It just means I don't have to do the god-awful task of watering crops every morning. And the more sprinklers I get, the more crops I can buy, the faster I can progress the game. So it was raining today. We're on day number 9 now. I activated my rain totem, so tomorrow it would also rain, so I don't have to water crops for the next 2 days, which is great. I sighted up all of my lovely rice shoots. I'm going to sell all that unmilled rice. If I had a mill, I could have turned that into regular rice and made a profit, but I didn't have the mill right now, so I'm just going to sell the unmilled rice as it is. I got Clint to upgrade my pickaxe, so I can't go to the mines today. Instead, I'm just going to fish, and because it was raining, we might as well pull up as many catfish as possible. I also run around and collect more forageables so I can make more spring wild seeds. I also pulled up the eel because I need that for the fishing collection. I also need it for the community centre bundle for the fish tank. The next day it was time to pull up lovely potatoes. I also got a few items here from hoeing up the ground. I'm going to donate all these to Gunther. The great thing about the bone flute there is that the reward given back to you is a flute block, and you only need 1 flute block to complete the mermaid puzzle over on Ginger Island. The rest of the money was spent on parsnip seeds. It's a lot of parsnip seeds, but that means a lot of farming XP for me and a nice profit. I also got my pickaxe back off Clint, and we're back to fishing again. We're getting more catfish. I also got an ancient seed from a fishing treasure chest. That was very lucky to get one so early. Demetrius paid us a visit the next day. We have a choice between the mushroom cave and the bat cave. We're going to go with the bat cave because I find it a much easier cave to use when you're going to complete community centre bundles, primarily for the pomegranates and the apples. Clint is upgrading more tools for us again today. I want to get that steel pickaxe as quickly as possible, and the rest of the day was spent fishing. So we're now on the 13th. Lucky for some, unlucky for others, but it was a very lucky day for me because I was able to buy so many lovely strawberry seeds. 243 in total. That's going to be a load of money in the next couple of days. I also won the event, of course. I think eventually Mary Lewis will just ban me from the event, otherwise nobody will just turn up if I keep winning. It was raining again today, which was great, and the next day was also a rainy day, so I was just blessed with rainy days for this challenge. It happens sometimes, you just get a huge consecutive chain of rainy days. We're gifting Caroline daffodils in the hopes to get her up to 2 hearts as quickly as possible. Once she gets 2 hearts, she will give us the tea sapping recipe, and then we're going to see some serious cash rolling into the old farm. I got the master slingshot on floor 60. I will only use that once to get a golden walnut if I can reach Ginger Island later on. It is much more difficult for me to reach Ginger Island early when I go the community centre route. If I went the Georgia route, I'd more than likely be in there at the start of summer. But for now, we're going to go back into the mines and make some progression. Level 70, I got 5 warp totems to the farm. I wasn't too happy with that. I never really use warp totems to the farm because I normally just pass out. The trick is to just have no money on you. If you have loads of money, you should spend it, invest it straight away. You shouldn't keep huge amounts of money on you. And all my money was in the ground, grown at this moment in time. So I could just push the caves until I passed out, woke up the next day with a very, very small penalty. It was time to complete more bundles. This time we're going to complete the spring crops bundle. The reward was 20 speed grows. I'll use those later on. I won't bother with the strawberries because it's too late now to get a 3rd harvest. We're going to farm floor 81 here now, and it's a great floor for fibre. I also got dark boots, plus 4 defense, plus 2 immunity, a fantastic upgrade for us, much better than that for the thermal boots. We're making our way down. I want to get to floor 100 so I can get that lovely star drop. It's always nice to increase the maximum energy that your character can hold. It just means I can do more on a daily basis. When I got to floor 90, I wasn't expecting it. 14 gold bars. I was actually really happy with that, because you need gold bars to make quality sprinklers and some other bits and bobs as well down the road. I got to level 100, got the star drop, nice one. All that was left primarily was just a skull key on level 120. Level 5 farming, we could take rancher, beef and animals twice as quickly, or harvester, 10% chance to get an extra crop when we pull it up out of the ground. I went with harvester. For mining, I'm going to go with blaster. craft twice as many explosives, and exploded rocks yield double the coal. That is absolutely amazing. And this is the great thing about the MARGO mod. I went into the mod totally blind, so I just didn't know what to expect when it comes to the perks or any of the gameplay mechanics. For the combat, I'm going to go with Fighter, damage plus 10% and plus 15 HP. Rascal was pretty cool, but I don't really use a slingshot, so it was a bit of a waste for me. Fighter all the way. The next day, it was time to collect my iron bars and pick up all of the forageables on my farm. I then decided to complete all of the boiler room bundles. I had all of the items needed, I'm doing the mines all the time, so that was an easy first room completion done. That unlocks the travelling carts. I also completed the crab pot bundle because I managed to get all of the items on the beach and I got the crabs from slaying monsters in the mines. So I went to Ireland today and I had loads of items that I couldn't sell by the shipping bin. So I just sold to Marilyn directly to get some extra cash. So I'm using a cudgel here just to try it out because it was a club weapon, but I didn't like the moveset that the MARGO mod set on this weapon. So I ended up swapping back to the broken trident later on. When I got to floor 110, I got 12 more gold bars. I was over the moon with that. It just meant that once I got level 6 farming, I could just focus on iron bars and refined quartz to make tons of quality sprinklers without wasting resources. It was raining today, so we're pulling up more fish. I want to get to fishing level 10 before spring is finished, so I can have a go at the legend fish. If I want to collect all the fish in the game by year 1, I need to get the legend in spring. If I don't get the legend in spring, then I have to wait until year 2. So Caroline just taught me the tea sapling recipe there, but she will officially send it to me in the mail the next day. I also gave Robin her last axe, and the rest of the day I spent cutting down trees to increase my foraging skill. I got it to 5 there, so I get to choose new perks. We had Lumberjack, 25% more wood, or Forager, a 20% chance for double yield of foraged items. We're going to go with Forager because I'm focusing on tea saplings at the moment. Speak of the devil, just got the tea sapling recipe there, and I'm going to use up all my resources now to make as many tea saplings as possible. 71 in total, that's more or less 35,000 gold in the bag. I'm going to get the deluxe backpack. That means all my inventory slots are now unlocked. I sold tea saplings, that's up to 49,000 gold. We're going to go straight into the vault here and unlock all these bundles so we can now get the bus over to the desert and start doing Skull Cavern runs. The sooner we can get sorted with Skull Cavern, the sooner we can get our hands on Iridium and make loads of money and upgrade the tools. The big prize there with the vault is the Crystallarium. You just get one, but it's better than nothing, and I can put a jade into that and start accumulating staircases. We're also going to get a pickaxe upgrade. I couldn't afford it, so I had to sell some gold bars. Not to worry, I had plenty. I sold enough to get 10,000 gold, then I got Clint to upgrade my pickaxe to a gold one. That will take a couple of days. I got a quest off Marnie for an emerald. I obliged because it was a profit for me and it was extra friendship points. I also gave her a quartz because she likes those as well. I didn't really have any loved gifts. She loves diamonds, but I didn't want to give her a diamond because I needed those for triple shot espressos. The rest of the day I spent fishing. I got the sunfish there and I actually needed that for the fishing collection. Not the shell is handy. But look what I got here when I pulled up a largemouth bass. I got a treasure chest. This is extremely rare. It's as rare as getting a prismatic shard or a dinosaur egg or an ancient seed. It's worth 5,000 gold if you sell it. The funny thing about a treasure chest is that if you try to gift it to someone, they absolutely hate it. So if you ever get a treasure chest down the road, do not gift it. Just sell it, do yourself a favour. I finally got level 10 fishing. The perks are very interesting here. Angler, fish are 0.5% more valuable for every unique species caught. Fully extending the tackle causes its effects to linger on the fishing rod. That's really cool. Then we had Aquarist. Fish pond max capacity +2, that means more rewards. Catching bar decrease slower for every unique fish species raised in a fish pond. So if you want to get those perfect catches on a super hard fish, just make a fish pond for every single fish in the game. And you'll have no problem doing that. Really cool perks there. I was very happy with those. The MARGO mod is just so cool. The strawberries have finally grown. Get all those. I'm also going to get the iridium rod. And I'm going to get a trap bobber and some bait. I'm going to go for the legend now today because it was raining. You can only get the legend rainy days. That is the legend caught. It took me 3 attempts. It was quite the battle now. Extremely hard fish to catch. One of the hardest fish in the game. I got the gold pickaxe off Clint. It's time to upgrade more tools. This time we're going to go with the axe. We're going to upgrade that to a copper axe. We're going to go back into the mines now. I got a diamond there from a mystery note. That was really nice. I'm going to make some quality sprinklers today. They're going to make my life way easier. I'm going to sell more items to Marlin just to make more money. There's no point having those in my chest because they're using up space. I'm going to make a fish pond here now, and I'm going to put a fish inside that in the next couple of days. I'm doing a skull cavern run today, but it's not a full skull cavern run. I didn't come in here until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I just went in to wet my feet a bit and get some minerals. I come out then later on, and I trade in some items for triple shot espressos and spicy eels. But the next day, we're going to do a full run for real. I picked up an iridium band, but it doesn't have any stats on it. It's worth 1,000 gold. The MARGO Mod changed the way the iridium band worked, and at that moment in time I did not have a clue of the mechanics of it, so I ended up selling it later, and I regret that so much, so much, because it turns out that it was one of the best rings in the game, but I'll talk more about it later. I went to the flower dance festival today. I picked up the rare crow, and I also picked up the tub of flowers recipe. I need those to get perfection. I didn't have enough friendship points accumulated with any of the lovely straws to dance with them, so I just watched in the background. I was probably better off anyway, because if I got really drunk, there would have been a good chance that I would have attempted to use one of the straws as a tool to slurp down a drink. Moving on, I got 10,000 gold off Mr. Key for making a passport 25 in the mines. Thank you very much, Mr. Key. I also got my lovely copper axe, and we have iron bars smelting back in the farm too at the moment, so we're doing really well. I got Clint to upgrade my pickaxe to an iridium pickaxe. That's going to make a skull cavern life much easier. As we can see here now, I have tons of weapons to sell. Templar's blades and wicked krises are very common, because there were so many crates in Skull Cavern and those weapons were just popping out of the crates left, right and centre. I went to the Skull Cavern with a prismatic shard. It didn't work, so I googled it to find out why, and then I read that you have to have a prismatic shard plus 10 iridium bars to get a galaxy weapon. I was hoping for a galaxy sword or a galaxy hammer, but instead I got a galaxy dagger. I was very disappointed with this. I was going to reset the day and try again, but I didn't bother. I said, you know what, I'm pretty good with most weapon types. I might as well just keep the dagger and see how I get on. And I regret that later. I went to Marlin to see if he had the other galaxy weapons for sale because I got the dagger. He didn't. I was stuck with the dagger. So I went to check out the travelling cart merchant. Picked up a jelly for the community centre bundles. Also picked up a rare seed as well. Not too bad. I went back to the desert with 20 iridium bars and a prismatic shard in the hopes that the pylons here would activate and grace me with another galaxy weapon. But no, they were finished with me. I was absolutely stuck with this galaxy dagger. There was nothing I could do. I had to use it as my main combat weapon. I tried to put the legend into the fishing pond because the MARGO Mod stated you could do so, but it didn't work. So I put it back into the chest and I would investigate later to see if I could find a workaround for that. It was Pierre's birthday, so I gave him a daffodil to get some friendship points with him. I went into my bat cave. Lots of forageables ready to be picked up. So I'm going to pick all these up now, and some can be used for community centre bundles. That was going to save me some time later on. The rest of the day was spent fishing. And I just fished primarily to get money because I was going into summer. I wanted to buy lots of starfruit. I got coal here. It's nice to get stuff out of the fishing treasure chests. Coal is always a nice reward. Coal is something that I always run out of because I smell so many bars. I got back my iridium pickaxe. Super happy. I'm now going to give Clint my copper axe. He's going to upgrade that to a steel axe so I can get into secret woods. I'm giving Gunther more artifacts here and minerals in the hopes to get access to the sewers so I can get access to Krobus as quickly as possible. There's also a statue down there that allows you to respec, and the MARGO Mod has changed that dramatically, but we'll talk more about that later on when we get down into the sewers. So we were back to completing more community centre bundles. The exotic foraging bundle was easy enough because I had the coconut and the cactus fruit. The other items were simple to get. I picked up the Autumn's Bounties. I don't use the Autumn's Bounty, I just sell it to make money. I'm back down to 481. I'm farming this floor for the whole day for fibre to make more tea saplings. I made over 41,000 gold today, primarily from selling iridium bars and other bits and bobs I got from the mines. We're checking out the travelling cart merchant again today. I'm going to pick up a rare seed. But the big prize today was an ancient seed going for 400 gold and a red cabbage going for $1,000. I got those straight away. It was a magnificent day with the travelling carts. So we're going to visit Sandy today. It's the last day of spring. I'm going to get 293 starfruit seeds. Then I'm going to visit the regular mines and I'm going to get all of the exclusive fish in the mines, such as the ghost fish, the stone fish, ice pip on floor 60, and the super hard lava eel on floor 100. This fish is really rare, so it does take quite a number of attempts to actually catch this. And even if you do get a bite, it's very hard to pull it up if you're not prepared. I strongly recommend using a trap bobber to pull that fish up. It is quite a challenge, especially if you don't see it coming and it takes you by surprise. So it's the first day of summer. I got my steel axe off Clint. That means we can get into the secret woods. I'm going to purchase a few crops off Pierre for some of the community centre bundles. We're also going to go to Sandy and I'm going to spend loads of money on more starfruit seeds, 32 in total. The more starfruits I can grow, the more I can convert into starfruit wine, the more money I can make. Because I have the steel axe, I can now get rid of all these large stumps all around my farm. Like I start accumulating hardwood now, and loads of hardwood will be needed later on. I fished up the wood skip today, that was needed for the fishing collection. And I'm also going to do the summer foraging bundle. You only need 3 summer forageables for that bundle. You also only need 3 summer forageables to make summer wild seeds, which is also really good. So it's a lot easier to make tea saplings in summer. It's definitely the best month in the whole game to make tea saplings. I pulled up an octopus today. It was a very hard catch. Definitely one of the hardest, if not the hardest, non-legendary fish in the game. I then got the crimson fish, and then in the evening time, we were fishing up super cucumbers. They sell for really nice money. We're going to visit Robin, and she is going to make us a silo, because I want to get some animals on the farm. We're then going to get Clint to break open some geodes for us, so we can give Gunther more minerals and artifacts, so we can try to get down into the source as quickly as possible. I made some crab pots, and I'm using these to get more fish for the fishing collection. If we catch all the fish in the game, Willie will give us a star drop, and we need that for perfection. So I completed the lakefish bundle by getting a sturgeon there. That was really nice. The reward was a dressed spinner. I'm just going to sell it for 500 gold. I also completed the artisan bundle. The reward there was a cake. That's a very nice reward indeed. You can't have enough eggs in my opinion. I went back into the secret woods today because I want to get more hardwood, but it's also a great place to get foraging XP. I finally got foraging level 7. That means I can make 3 fertilizers. I can now make 3 farms. And I also give a fire quartz into the lava eels here to make them feel more at home. They will also multiply. The more lava eels I get in that fish pond, the better rewards I get. Amazing items here to be had from the travelling cart. I picked up the truffle, which means I don't have to get pigs anymore. I also picked up the duck egg. I still need a duck though for the duck feather. I also made some lightning rods because I was going to get the thunder and lightning very soon because it was summer. So the lightning rod is a great way to get battery packs. They come in super handy later, especially to get access to Ginger Island. Because it was raining today, I fished up the red snapper. That's needed for the ocean fish bundle, and I just completed that there. The reward was 5 warp totems to the beach. The next day I was able to get some battery packs, super happy with that. We're going to visit Robin now. She is going to make us a coop, and we're going to get a barn the next day. And I'm probably going to get one of each animal just to cover all of the items in the game. I fished up a sturgeon, then it was off to the desert to pick up some more forageables. I also fished up the scorpion carp and the sandfish while I was in the desert. I needed the sandfish for another fish bundle, and that was another one out of the way. Very close now to completing the fishing community centre bundles. Back into the mines, I'm farming copper because I need to make tons of tappers for the tree seeds that I planted down on the farm. I want to get loads of oak resins to make kegs later on so I can make starfruit wine. I'm clearing up space now on the farm. It's the Four Corners farm, so there's 4 big areas on the farm that I can clear out to put crops down or to put other stuff down. 51 tappers made. I put those in all my trees. The rest of the day was spent farming up wood. It was Gus's birthday today, so I gave him a diamond. I did have loads of those from the Scott Cavern run. That put him up to 2 hearts. Robin usually does not work on a Tuesday, but if you talk to her just at the right moment, you can actually access her interface. You can get her to upgrade your house, buy supplies, or even get her to make a building on your farm, even on Tuesdays. You just gotta do it at the right time, just before she leaves the house. So I'm gonna put all my tappers on my trees, and all of my lovely spring forageables are now ready. So I'm gonna collect all these, I'm gonna make more, I'm gonna replant them, and any excess summer seeds I have will be used to make tea saplings. Just like this. Look at all the tea saplings I'm gonna make right now. 99 in total. That's almost 50,000 gold I'm going to get back from those. It's a huge amount of money. I got the lobster out of a crab pot today. I was super happy with that. One step closer to catching all the fish in the game. It was Maru's birthday, so I gave her the battery pack because she loves batteries. some more friendship points for me. Speaking of friendship points, I put a gold star sturgeon into the luau. That gets the best response governor because he loves the soup, and I get tons of friendship points. Back to Robin, I'm going to get the brick floor recipe from her, and I'm also going to get a barn as well, so she'll have that bed in a couple of days. I'm going to put the floor all around my tappers. It just makes it way easier to collect the resins going forward, so nothing pops up in between the trees. Doing a skull cavern run today, and I'm making loads of bombs here now. Because I have the perk where I can make, 2 bombs for just the resources of 1 bomb, it's really easy to make tons of bombs using the iron ores and the coal. At the end of the day, I got level 10 mining. Because of the MARGO mod, the perks drastically changed. The first one was the demo perk, bomb radius +1, but exploded rocks yield 20% more resources. That was really nice. Other one was the gemologist. Progressively identify minerals of higher quality. That means I can get like iridium or gold star diamonds, for example. Crystal arms were faster. I went with the demo perk because I wanted to see how effective bomb farming could be. I also got a dinosaur egg and I put that into the incubator in the coop. That'll get me back a dinosaur, and any future eggs that dinosaur lays I can just give it to Gunther, turn the rest into mayonnaise. I'm going to buy more starfruit seeds now today, 208 in total, and I'm going to smelt all of my lovely iridium ores into iridium bars and sell those for even more money. I'm very close now to getting access to the sores, so it's just 1 or 2 last big pushes. We're going to get Clint to break open geodes, we're going to give him into Gunther. I'm also studying more weapons here I got from this cavern run into Marlin. Marlin must be having a field day here with all these weapons. I also checked out the travelling cart today. The fried egg was very nice indeed. But it doesn't stop there. We got super lucky. We scrolled down a few pages and the large goat's milk was also there. It just meant I didn't have to invest in a gold if I didn't want to. I also got the Mackie roll recipe off Gus. That is needed for another community centre bundle, and it's very easy to make the Mackie roll. I also purchased the other recipes that he had too, bar the Sugarshot Espresso, because I didn't want to waste the rest of my money on that just now. With the resources I had, I made 10 crystallariums. I put those down on the farm, and I finally got level 10 farming. Artisan was now overhauled to all artisan machines work 10% faster. Machine output quality can be as good as input ingredient quality. That's interesting. I'm going to go with agriculturist. Crops grow 10% faster, and there's a chance we can pull up iridium quality crops from the ground without using fertilizer. That's a game changer right there. Gunther paid us a visit the next day. He finally gave me the key to the sores. I just pulled up a batch of melons here. But what's really interesting about this is that I got an iridium quality melon. And because it's higher than the gold star, I can also use that for quality crops bundle, for example, if I want. So I went to Robin, and I'm going to get her to upgrade my house again. I'm also going to go to Clint, and I'm going to upgrade a tool. I'm going to get the gold axe. And that eventually will go all the way to the iridium axe so I can cut down trees very quickly. It was time to go back to the statue of prestige. We are going to rework another skill. So this statue will allow us to reset our skill, but we keep some of the perks from the skill originally. So I have a choice here between farming, fishing, and mining. Now I didn't have enough gold on me at the moment, so I was going to have to wait and come back to that. But while I was down here, I did manage to pull up the mutant carp, which is another legendary fish, added to the roster. I'm going to make a little tree farm here now, and all of this will just be wood for tea saplings and building upgrades, things like that down the road. The great thing about the tree fertilizer is that I can make tree farms whenever I please, as long as I have the basic resources to do it. It just means trees will grow within a few days. It'll even work on trees in winter, which is amazing. As you can see here now, I'm collecting all my resins. I'm getting 2 XP per resin collected, thanks to the MARGO mod. That's really handy for getting up foraging skill. I'm also getting lots of starfruit wines here as well. I'm going to fill up all these kegs now with starfruit. And when I get back the wine, I'm going to make an absolute ton of money. I also got shades on my crystallariums, so come Sunday, I can swap those into staircases. Got my gold axe back off Clinton now today. But we're not finished there. We're going to give him the axe straight back in, and he will upgrade that to an iridium quality axe. That's what we're looking for. It's very handy that you can sell bars directly to Clint, especially if you need to upgrade tools but you can't afford it. Having iridium bars or gold bars or things like that can save you a lot of time and energy. So I'm making more tea saplings now today, and we're back planting spring forageables on the ground. I'm going to sell all those tea saplings to make a ton of money. It was also Sam's birthday, so I gave him a pizza. I bought that from Gus, and Sam was super happy with that. Pizza is one of Sam's loved gifts. We're back in the mines, farming floor 81 for the rest of the day. I made over 52,000 gold today, primarily from selling iridium bars and tea saplings. So I'm going to use a carp, some rice and seaweed to make a mackie roll. I needed that for a community center bundle. We're going to go back to the Statue of Prestige and we are going to reset our mining skill because I want to accumulate more perks for mining. I heard the sound of the train, so I went straight up to the bathhouse area in the hopes that I would get a really good item from the train. Sometimes it can drop very rare items, and on this occasion it did. It dropped the leprechaun shoes. They are probably one of the coolest shoes in the game. Leprechauns are also linked to good luck in Ireland, so we do have a myth around Ireland where if you reach the bottom of a rainbow, you may find a leprechaun with a pot of gold. Leprechauns also jump up out of holes in Ireland, so if you're walking along the road or walking through a field, you gotta watch out that you don't accidentally step on a leprechaun. So just be careful if you ever visit Ireland. If you come across any of the leprechaun homes, try not to step on them. The leprechauns can get quite angry. It was Demetrius's birthday, gave him an ice cream, he was super happy with that. We're collecting more jades and now we are processing ancient fruit to try to get more. I got back mixed seeds today. That was very unpleasant, extremely unlucky, but we can't have good luck all of the time, so I just rolled with it. Went to the desert, cutting down some trees here as well. I needed lots and lots of wood to make more tea saplings and I also wanted building upgrades. So once all these trees have been cut down, I'll be able to go back to Robin and I'll be able to start upgrading coops and barns, getting house upgrades and things like that. I traded in my jades for staircases, so I'm prepping myself now for another Skull Cavern run. It's always the start of a great day when you wake up to battery packs, gold, iridium bars and jades. Went back to Clint, got the copper hoe. I'm going to hand that back in now for the steel hoe upgrade. That's going to come in super handy for fall when we start putting down pumpkins. I made some iridium sprinklers today. I'm now getting the farm prepped for pumpkins because we're going to get hundreds and hundreds of those just in a few days. Got Robin to make the deluxe coop right there, and now we're going to talk to Krobus and we're just going to get the star drop off him for 20,000 gold. That's one more star drop in the bag for us. So I went to the desert now today, and I'm going to get some trouble shot espressos, some spicy eels. We are going to do a Skull Cavern run. Today was a great day in the Skull Cavern. When I got to floor 20, I got 2 iridium sprinklers. They would go straight on the farm. When the day was finished, I got level 5 mining again. This time I selected +1 ore per vein, and it was even more battery packs the next day on the farm. The more battery packs I got, the more crystallariums and iridium sprinklers I could make. I got my steel hoe off Clint. I stopped upgrades there. It was time to collect all of the lovely starfruit wine. I also completed the summer crops bundle. The reward for that was a quality sprinkler, and I still had use for quality sprinklers. It was Willie's birthday, so I gave him a catfish. Willie just loves catfish. I could have given him a diamond, but I had a few catfish lying around from all the fishing I've been doing, so it was just made more sense to give him one of those, because I could still trade in diamonds for triple shot espressos and things like that. I purchased a full stack of wheat off Pierre today. That will be used for a placeholder, so when fall comes I won't have to hoe or water the ground and putting down the pumpkins. I can just scythe up the wheat because the wheat also grows in fall as well as summer. I made 46 more kegs today. That's more starfruit wine for us. And our dinosaur was finally born. That means any future eggs a dinosaur lays, we can just give them to Gunther. I went to Marnie. It was time to buy some supplies, so I bought some hay because I had no real grass on the farm, so I couldn't scythe it for hay at all. I also got an auto grabber, so I wouldn't have to worry about checking the dinosaur every day to see if it laid an egg, and I also bought some rabbits and ducks as well. I got a large milk off the travelling cart along with Nautilus shell. I was extremely happy with those. And then I went back to my coop after purchasing all of the animals. I decided to pet them all. I didn't have an auto petter yet, but I do eventually get one via the Skull Cavern. I made loads of grass starter, planted that on the farm, and it was time to collect the last batch of starfruit. All of that would go into the kegs. I then replanted wheat on the ground so I wouldn't have to worry about re-hoeing or re-watering the ground come fall when it comes to the pumpkins. And there was just a second batch of starfruit on the top left hand side of the farm as well. I was collecting iridium bars now today. They were going to sell for lots of money. Then it was back to Robin, and this time I'm going to get her to make a mill, because when I collect all of the wheat I can turn that into wheat flour and I can turn that into bread to make a decent profit. I traded in more jets for staircases, and we're finishing out summer in style with the lovely jelly event here. It's probably one of the greatest visual effect events in the game. So we're now in the 1st of fall, sighted up all of the wheat, and I'm just purchasing crops off here for community centre bundles. So I got the eggplant, the yam, and I'm just getting pumpkins there as well. And the pumpkins will be the primary money maker for this season. That will be converted into pumpkin juice. I finished the fall foraging bundle. The reward, 30 false seeds, thank you very much. It was then back into the bat cave, got a pomegranate there, that was very lucky. I just needed a couple of apples there now, and that would be another community center bundle completed. So I was at the mercy of RNG with this game. Apples are quite rare, but there is a chance if I pick up an apple I might get two, and that would be great for me. Back down to the secret woods, we're collecting forageables, breaking open trees, and it's time to take on the community quests. We had the famous omelette and we had Juicy Bugs Wanted. We went with Juicy Bugs Wanted because it's easy to get bug meat. I gave Penny a sandfish for her birthday because she loves those, and that pushed her straight up into the yellow for friendship, which was great. It was then time to refill all of our lovely starfruit kegs. I also put all of the wheat into the mill here to get back wheat flour. That would just take 1 day to process, which is really nice. The mill is actually a really, really nice structure to have in the game. This time I was going for the big barn, and after that we're going to go for the deluxe barn, just so we can get one of each animal in the game, which would cover more or less everything. I got my watering can upgraded, and then it was back to fishing. So we were getting fish that we didn't get before, such as the sea cucumber, the salmon, the midnight carp, all needed for the fishing collection. The next day it was time to get the lovely wheat flour from the mill. I converted that into bread straight away. 323 pieces of bread. That would be sold for a very nice profit indeed. It was then time to check the auto grabber, and lo and behold, there was lots of wool here that I needed for a community center bundle. I also needed the rabbit's foot for the enchantress bundle, so it was a really nice haul today. We're then collecting all of our lovely oak resins. That means I can make more kegs if I want to. It was time to finish off the enchantress bundle. I had the oak resin and the rabbit's foot. That was another bundle completed there for the bulletin board. The reward was 5 gold bars. Not too bad. For the field research bundle, I just needed a nautilus shell for that. The reward there was a recycling machine. That wasn't too shabby either. And for the dye bundle, I just needed a duck feather and a sea urchin. I'll get those eventually, because I did get a duck off Marnie. And I also completed the chef's bundle by just giving in a maple syrup. The reward there was a nice pink cake. So the big challenge here now is to get 1 more apple, so I'd have 3 apples in total for the fodder bundle. For the animal bundle, I gave in the milk and the wool, but I needed a chicken egg. I didn't actually have any chickens at the moment, so I had to sacrifice 1 animal in my coop and purchase a chicken off Marnie later on. For quality crops bundle, I had 5 Gold Star corn. That was easy enough to do because I had the corn grown from summer. It was raining today, pulled up the walleye, so I'm getting much closer now to all of the fishing collections. It was finally time to finish off the lovely fishing bundles by giving in the tiger trout and giving in the walleye. That was all of the bundles completed. A small glow ring and some bait. The prizes weren't great, but we needed to complete all of the bundles if you want to get to Ginger Island, so it was a necessary sacrifice. The plan was to get to Ginger Island by the end of fall or the start of winter, and then we could spend the whole season going through the island, getting the rewards that lie within, trying to access Key's Secret Walnut Room, and just seeing how far the MARGO Mod has extended. But for now, we were back in the regular mines and we're just going for bugs here for bug meat. We needed 100 in total for Willy's quest. We had a whole week to complete it. The great thing about Willy's quest is that it also ties in with the monster eradication goals, and there's always a chance the bugs can drop ancient seeds. It is a small chance, but it will happen to you more often than not when you start farming those bugs. I gave in some mega bombs to the lava eels. I had to be super careful with those. We all know how I get with bombs sometimes. I was really worried that I would misplace the bomb and blow half the farm up because it was a mega bomb. Because it was Sunday, we're going back to the desert trader. We're trading in more jades for staircases. Now we're going back to Marlin and we're just getting rid of stuff here that we don't need. I got lots of rubber boots, lots of glow rings, items from the starter levels of the mines I didn't need. I also got the insect head, and because of the MARGO mod, it was actually upgraded a little bit, but the great thing about it is that it was now worth 4,900 gold, so I sell that to Marlin for a really nice profit. I went to the travelling cart today, picked up the snowman rare crow. The rest of the day was spent cutting down trees because I needed a lot more wood to get a lot more upgrades done to the farm. I still hadn't reached level 10 foraging, but I was getting there, and this huge haul of lovely fall forageables will certainly help with that, especially if I get a double pull, get 14 XP instead of 7. With 340 fall wild seeds, I'll plant some of those back down in the ground, and then with the rest I'll make tea saplings. I'm just going to sell all those lovely tea saplings. Went over 100 tea saplings today, and the figures just keep going. 150 tea saplings in total, that's 75,000 gold. It was time for the legendary fall fish, the angler. It's a very easy catch, probably one of the easiest legendary fish to catch in the game, maybe besides the mutant carp. I never have any issues putting that anglerfish out of the water. I then spent the rest of the day just getting berries off bushes. Made 185,000 gold today, primarily from tea saplings and crops and things like that. So I'm going to grab the duck feather and the egg. We're going to give one into the community center and the other into Gunther. So that was one more artifact to Gunther, one step closer to perfection. Got my copper watering can today off Clint, but we're not finished there. We're going to give the can straight back in, upgrade that to the steel watering can. That would come in super handy for Ginger Island. For the dye bundle, I had the duck feather and I had the sea urchin. That was the dye bundle complete, and the reward was a seed maker. That's not too bad. We will be using lots of seed makers later for ancient fruit. It was then time to get our lovely starfruit wine all over again, and for the rest of the day, we were cutting down trees. I was really close to getting foraging level 10, and I just popped right there. It's going to be very interesting to see what the perks are. I also got greeted by a fairy. So for the first perk, we got Ecologist. Wild berries restore 50% more health and energy, progressively identify forage in higher quality, and then we had Scavenger. And that just gives you the markers, but it has an additional perk. Occasionally detect buried treasure. And this really surprised me. It excited me. So I clicked on it to see what it was like. So I went back to Marnie today, and I almost purchased the rabbit. Then I said, no, I need a chicken. I need chicken eggs to complete the animal bundle. It was also Jodie's birthday. Give her a diamond. Jodie was happy. I'm also going to get another community quest. This time we're going to go with rock rejuvenation, because I had so much minerals from the Skull Cavern runs. It was then back to the lovely Clint, got my steel watering can, but we weren't finished there, we might as well go all the way, so we're going to upgrade that to the gold watering can. That would take a couple of days. We're then back into the pantry. It was time to complete the fall crops bundle. That was one more bundle done, one to go. The reward was a bee house, not too bad. I gave Emily all of the minerals she wanted for rock rejuvenation. That was 1,000 gold in the bag. She sent me on a sewing machine the next day. It was time for the first batch of pumpkins. Look at the lovely giant mutated pumpkins. They were huge. I was thinking about destroying them, but I said no, I'm going to leave them the way they are because they look big and beautiful, and they even last throughout all of the seasons, so they look really cool in winter as well. So I'm going to leave the mutated pumpkins and just pick up the rest. For a good portion of today, it was just replanting the pumpkin seeds. So this was the first buried treasure. This was a level 10 foraging perk, and I got 4 pieces of stone, and I got 1 wild seed for the fall. It was so disappointing. I gave Abigail an amethyst because it was her birthday. More friendship points with her. So we're actually doing pretty well with the friendship in this game. I don't know if I'll be able to maximize everyone's friendship by the end of the year though. We'll find out soon enough. So it was back to Robin, Deluxe Barn all the way. Then it was back to Clint to get the gold watering can. Now I had a lot of money on me and a lot of resources, so I said, you know what, let's just upgrade it to the iridium watering can. It was raining today, and the lovely vegetables were ready to be collected. I was going to pick up all those, plant some back down on the ground, turn the rest into tea saplings, the usual story. It was Sunday, that means staircases. It was then back to the travelling carts, and she was selling pale ale for 1,000 gold a pop. I purchased one just so I can complete the quest for Pam. Pam was looking for the pale ale. Give me that, slurp. Ah, that's the stuff. Pam is just so funny. And of course, she's going to drive the bus after it. So for the next set of community quests, we're going to go with a curious substance. Need to get an ectoplasm. So we need to destroy ghosts for that. I spent the whole day locating ghosts and killing them in the hopes to get an ectoplasm. It's quite rare. It was time for the Stardew Valley Fair. I got first place, of course. I had a huge array of really nice items. Gambled all my star tokens on green. And once I had enough star tokens accumulated, I decided then to just use them all up and get the star drop and to get the rare crow in this event. They're the 2 most important items you need when you're going for perfection. So the rare crow is 800. The reason why you need all the rare crows is because when you get them all, you will be mailed a recipe called the Deluxe Scarecrow, and you need to make that in order to achieve perfection. The starfruit wine was ready again, and it's so nice just picking up all this lovely starfruit wine. I mean, the money was going to be amazing. I was killing duggies today and rock crabs and anything in between. I was just trying to complete more monster eradication goals for perfection. On floor 16, it was an ambush floor. This was amazing because I could just elevate her down to floor 15, pop a staircase or mine open a few rocks, get down to floor 16 and rinse and repeat for the day. It was Marnie's birthday, give her the diamond. That got enough friendship points with her for me to go in and get Mare Lewis's lucky purple shorts. And I was just going to give these back to Mare Lewis for friendship points because I want to accumulate as many friendship points as possible. Mare Lewis Had no idea how his shorts could have got there. Maybe Marnie stole them. Maybe Marnie gets a thrill out of robbing people's underwear and bringing them back to her bedroom. Who knows? It was time to complete another quest. Gave the wizard the ectoplasm. He was very happy with that. He gave me 2500 gold. I feel like you should get a lot more gold for that quest because the ectoplasm is so rare. I got the iridium watering can off Clint. Gave back in the hoe to upgrade that to a gold hoe. We're back down on floor 81, farming it for the day. The next day, the wizard, as a reward for completing his quest, gave me the recipe to make mini obelisks. They're very handy for big farms because they allow you to warp around the farm at your own pace, so it's a very nice item to make. It's time to make more tea saplings. Let's see how many I can make today. 160 tea saplings. That's a lot of tea saplings. That's a lot of money. It was time to sell all of the weapons, armor and rings I didn't need to Marlin for extra money. I also finally got my sweet gem berry to take fruition. Gave that into the statue here in the secret woods, and the reward was another star drop for me. So I sold my sweet gem berries. What's interesting here is the iridium quality one. It says for a whopping 6,000 gold. That is a very nice profit for sweet gem berries. Back to Clint. Got my gold hoe. I'm going to give that strap back into him, and I'm just going to upgrade that to the iridium hoe. And that means all my tools are now of iridium quality, except the trash can, of course, but I don't really use the trash can anyway. Might upgrade it down the road. So I'm going to buy a spaghetti off Gus today. I also got the triple shot espresso recipe, and it's Robin's birthday. She loves spaghetti, so I'm going to give Robin a spaghetti. Robin also loves peaches, but I didn't have any peaches on me at the moment, so Robin would just have to settle with a spaghetti. But I would have got the same friendship points regardless, unless the peach, of course, was a silver, gold, or iridium quality. So that was another Monster Slayer goal done for the Duggies, one step closer to perfection. The lava eels wanted an iridium bar, so I trundled it into the fishing pool, and that fishing pool is actually coming along very well now at the moment. It was time for another community quest. We had community cleanup or fragments of the past. I went with community cleanup straight away. Those fiber seeds are just overpowered as hell. Way too good to pass up. So I went up to the bathhouse area. I spent a whole day fishing up there for trash. Once I accumulated 20 pieces, I put them all into the bin the next day to complete Linus's quest. The 500 gold is a small amount of money, but the real reward will come the next day when he gives me the recipe for the fiber seed. I got my iridium hoe back off Clint. It was then time to harvest all of the lovely starfruit wine. That's going to mean a lot more money for us. We're now running a little bit low on starfruit. I did have over 300, but that's going to go very quickly. And eventually it's going to be back to processing pumpkins. They're not half as good as starfruit wine, but they're better than nothing. It was now the 24th of fall, and this was going to be the last batch of pumpkins that we were going to pick up. So we were now heading into winter. I did get a few more mutated pumpkins though, thanks to the iridium quality sprinklers. So I'm going to leave all those pumpkins on the farm. It's also George's birthday, and I actually had a leek lying around the place from spring, so I gave him that because I knew he loves leeks, so I kept one for him. I then decided to make lots and lots of fiber seeds. Now these don't actually need to be watered, but I was just too lazy to pickaxe up all of the sprinklers, so I just put them on the ground as is. I had the space for it. You do have to protect them though, because the crows will swoop down and try to eat them. It was Thursday, so I traded in some prismatic shards for a magic rock candy, probably one of the best, if not the best, consumable in the game. For the rest of the day then, I was farming skeletons because I wanted to kill enough of these to get a monster eradication goal done, and after one day I managed to do just that. I was getting quite used to using the dagger weapon. I still would have much preferred a sword or a club, but I was getting used to it. I was getting a bit better with it. I purchased another ancient seed off the travelling cart. I also picked up Queen of the Gem Sea since it was a very rare painting. Why not? I had the money for it. And it was finally time to finish off the fodder bundle by putting in the last apple there. As a reward, I got back a heater. Not too bad at all. I also put in the chicken egg, finished off the animal bundle, and that was the pantry fully completed. I could now access the quarry cave. And what fun are we going to have inside the quarry? It was time to get Clint to process some geodes now today, so that's more minerals we're giving to Gunther. And I almost have all of the minerals done. I just needed a few more bits and bobs. It was time for another Skull Cavern run. So I took the magic rock candy, took a triple shot espresso, and it was time to break open some crates. Could I get another lucky ring today? Let's find out, because we all know how lucky I get when it comes to getting lucky rings out of barrels. And there we go. It was another lucky ring. They say lucky rings are insanely rare. They are rare, but they're not insanely rare, because I managed to get at least one every time I do a challenge. You know, if you keep running the Skull Cavern over and over again and you keep prioritizing the barrels and the crates, you are going to get one eventually. Level 10 mining. Let's look at the prospector. Locations of ladders and mining nodes revealed. Occasionally detect rocks with valuable minerals. Then we had Spelunker. This is the one we're going to take. Chance to find ladders and shafts increase every mine level. Speed increases every 5 levels. That is absolutely insane. If we use that in combination with staircases in the Skull Cavern, we're going to have a super fast, super lucky character. We'll be able to get down to the bottom of Skull Cavern with ease. So I was very excited to try to do it as quickly as possible. So it was now the 1st of winter. Look at all the fibre we're going to get here from the fibre seeds. The mutated pumpkins also look amazing in winter. When we're finished with farming all of the lovely fibre, we're going to go up here now and play hide and seek with Krobus. He's going to give us the magnifying glass, and that means we can now find secret notes from doing various activities around the game, and some of those notes are very powerful. What I was really hoping for was a secret note that would allow me to go to level 100 in the Skull Cavern and get that lovely iridium juice that gives me more HP. So I'm going to take Robin's project today. I'm going to find some hardwood. I'm also going to complete the winter foraging bundle. I finally got the crocus there and the snow yam. The reward was winter seeds, and that was the community centre completed. I could now access Ginger Island. But before I could access Ginger Island, I needed just a few more pieces of hardwood, because I wasn't farming the hardwood as much as I normally do, and I wasn't really getting that hardwood out of the crates and the mines, which is unfortunate. I also went for the glacier fish today, probably one of the hardest fish to catch in the game. It took me a few attempts, I finally caught it. It was then time to get the lovely Hero's Trophy from completing the community centre. Does not compare to the reward you get when you go the Jojo route, but it was still nice to get some recognition. It was now time to go into the quarry as well, because I wanted to get that lovely golden scythe. All these floaty skull enemies have a chance of dropping magic rock candies. Of course, it is very low, and it's been a long time since I actually got one to drop a magic rock candy. But when I went up to the statue, I got the golden scythe, but because we're using the MARGO mod, something happened afterwards. When I clicked on the statue to teleport out, it said there's something behind the statue. You feel a sinister chill run down your spine. Whatever it is, you should probably leave it alone. I, of course, decided not to leave it alone and grabbed it. I picked up a weapon here called the Blade of Ruin. You reach out and discover an old-looking sword. As you grab it, the blade begins to glow a sickly green colour. Suddenly you feel as if all the peace and everything else drained from your body. Similar to like a Dementor from Harry Potter, you know, it just drains the life out of everything. So I equipped it straight away. I was very curious about this weapon. Little did I know at the time that every time I swung this weapon, it consumed some of my HP. And this weapon becomes an extreme hindrance later on in the video. It really is a double-edged sword. So it was time to fix up the boat to get to Ginger Island. Just needed some battery packs, iridium bars, and some hardwood. I could now go to Ginger Island the next day. It was Linus's birthday. Gave him a cactus fruit. Even people like Linus can't stay in the tent all year round. Sometimes you do have to go in for a bit of heat. Thank God for the bathhouse. The Blade of Ruin was a very nice weapon indeed. Its secondary function, a dash attack, could fly through enemies, and it could kill a lot of enemies in one hit. Every time you slay 5 enemies with this blade, the stats on the weapon will increase. It will get stronger and stronger, and eventually it'll get to a point where it'll start one-shotting enemies. The only drawback is that while this weapon is equipped, I felt that my defense stat didn't really matter. Enemies were hitting me for maximum damage every time I swung the blade, and sometimes even if I just had the blade in my hand, I would lose HP. And this would get worse as the weapon gets stronger. So it really is a double-edged sword. Went to Ginger Island though, and it was time to collect some golden walnuts. I just wanted enough to unlock the house, so I could start putting some crops down in the farm and stuff like that. I really wanted to get at the forge though, and start upgrading my equipment. And I really wanted to get access to Key's secret walnut room to see what kind of quests he had. Now I was in the last season, it was winter, so it's going to be difficult to see how much progress I could actually make. So I got the house built. I now had access to the farm here. I could also sleep over. When I went into the volcano for the first chest reward, you always get the golden walnut. And you always get a free prismatic shard too when you get to the top. I enchanted my lovely Blade of Ruin. The enchant was called Whappajack. This enchant is hilarious. Basically, when you hit an enemy with this weapon, there's a chance you could outright kill them, you could turn them into an animal, you could turn them into a different enemy. It had so many different hilarious effects. There was also a chance that when you killed an enemy with Whappajack, they would drop a totally random item. And wait until you see the randomness of the items I get in the next few days. It was a total game changer. A really fun enchant to have. I was very impressed with this. And I'm actually very impressed with the MARGO mod. Fair play to the developers that made such a magnificent mod. So it was back to grinding out the golden walnuts on Ginger Island. I just done the pylon puzzle there, as you saw. That took me almost a whole day. Got a clam there for killing a slime, and I turned 2 others into chickens. One regular chicken, another a white chicken. And I think that one was a golden chicken. So the only one I didn't have was the brown and the blue chicken. And this is just the start of it. This enchant is absolutely insane. It was time to pull up the fish I needed for the fishing collection. Got the lionfish there today. And the first batch of winter forageables were now ready. So I'm going to pick all them up, make more, put them back down to the ground. This method will just rinse and repeat itself. I got a green tea, gave it to Caroline. She was very happy with that. And you can get tea leaves from Caroline's sunroom at the end of each season. So I managed to pick up a few free ones. I also finished off Robin's project by putting in some hardwood. That was another quest completed. And it was time to collect our lovely starfruit from the kegs. The next day we had the winter event here, the fishing event, so I purchased another Snowman Rarecrow. I forgot I already purchased one, so I now have 2 of those instead of 1. I won the fishing event, and Lewis gave me the usual prize of the magnet, barbed hook, dress spinner and sailor's cap. I sell all the tackles and I put the cap into a chest. I'm not a huge fan of the sailor's cap. Made over 200,000 gold from selling items, primarily starfruit wine. It was then time to take on a quest. I'm going to go with Gus's famous omelette, because I had lots of duck eggs now and chicken eggs at this stage, so this was a super easy quest to complete. So that was done in a matter of in-game hours. The reward was 3,000 gold, thank you very much Gus. It was then time to give Linus his berry basket. Not much good to him in winter, but I just wanted to get more friendship points up with people. Gave Emily an amethyst, said it was from Clint. She took it up the wrong way and I got a nice kiss off Emily. I also gave Willie a squid because he wanted me to fish one up, and I gave Caroline a pumpkin. She wanted one back in the fall, but she can always use it next year because crops in Stardew Valley are magical. They don't expire. Went into the stores and I got the Dark Talisman here because I wanted to get the ball rolling with the Wizard's Terminal. Fished up a Void Salmon needed for the fishing collection for Willie, and I also got the Void Mayonnaise. We're going to give that to the henchman here. And he looks so cute in his straw form. Just look at his cute spiky helmet. He's such a cute, lovely henchman. This got me access to the witch's house, and I was able to get the magical ink that I can now give to the wizard, which activates his magic terminal. When I went to the wizard, I got a new scene thanks to the MARGO mod. The wizard taught me about the strange sword that I wielded, and he gave me the background on the sword. And he taught me it once belonged to a legendary hero, but that hero's heart was broken and the sword turned evil. But he taught me that there is a chance I can turn the sword holy again by doing a huge string of quests. So the NPC that had the sword, his name was Vigo, and to be honest with you, I had to actually Google how to progress the quest because I didn't really know what to do. Before I Googled it though, I did go into a lot of places to see if I could progress it, but nothing was happening. Eventually I ended up going to the Statue of Yoba, like I do right here. I also gave Sebastian there as a shimi for his birthday. So all the quests I had to do were primarily based on choices you get during the NPC cutscenes. So I needed to accumulate more friendship points with a lot of the NPCs to complete a lot of these quests. There was also a quest here to give freely and share your abundance with your fellow townsfolk. 500,000 gold. I suppose the best way to do that maybe is to get Robin to upgrade Pam's house, which costs 500,000 gold. I'm hoping that's the case. So I had a lot more staircases today, had a lot of bombs, had some mega bombs, and as you can see my character is now super fast because I'm on floor 206 now. My character is like a bullet. The bombs have a much bigger radius. I mean, it's just really fun. I turned a dinosaur into a cow there. I got a banana off that dinosaur. I can now complete a quest over on Ginger Island without having to grow and wait for the banana tree. That was absolutely amazing. And I mean, if you think that's the pinnacle of what happens, it's not. I got a lucky ring. Now, I didn't have footage of the ring popping out of a crate because it wasn't recorded at the time. But I can assure you, It was in a crate, I destroyed it and it popped out. That was double lucky rings for me. Now that I had double lucky rings combined with a magic rock candy, I almost had maxed out luck. The only thing that was stopping me was ginger ale, and that's something we can look at later on in the video. I gave Linus gold bar for the help wanted quest. I don't know why he wants gold bars. I thought he gave up his ways of richness, but who am I to judge anyone else in this game? Gave Demetrius a melon too. He was looking for one of those for ages. So Demetrius is very happy about that. And he gave me some money, more friendship points as well for Demetrius. Look at all the lovely winter forageables we have on the farm at the moment. It took me a good portion of the day to pick up all these. Once they were all harvested, I made more winter wild seeds. And I made a lot more. Look at the amount of them I can make here. 930 wild seeds. So I was going to put as many of those as possible into the ground. With the leftovers, we can make more tea saplings. That's 112 in total made right there. I'm going to sell those for more money. Went into Jodie's house, met the family, trying to fish on the ground. We got on great. Went to George, gave him a hot pepper. He was looking for that for ages. George was a happy man. And I traded in more jades for staircases for future Skull Cavern runs. It was also Harvey's birthday, so I gave him a coffee. It was time to make more kegs. 80 kegs in total, ready to go. I was now processing the last pieces of the starfruit. We're going to be moving on to pumpkins very soon. It was also time to treat myself to a desert obelisk. I had the resources to make it. I had the money. I even had almost 1,000,000 gold left over. It was now time to take on the submarine minigame, and I got the blobfish, the spookfish, and the midnight squid. All exclusive submarine fish. You can only get those 3 days of the whole year. So my advice, when that event does become accessible, go into it straight away, prioritize it, because you won't get those fish anywhere else. So we're going to go with Fragments of the Past for the next community quest for the week. I also grew some crops on the farm here. I was lucky enough to get garlic from a Skull Cavern run. So that was going to be 15 golden walnuts from the frog in total. 5 for the melon, 5 for the wheat, and 5 for the garlic. I also gave in the banana here to the monkey. He's going to give me a few more golden walnuts for that. So I was well on the way to get lots and lots of golden walnuts. Also got the parrots to finish off the resort here. This gives me access to the beach. Put down some flute blocks here. That was the mermaid puzzle complete. 5 more golden walnuts. Fished up the stingray. That was all the fish done in the whole game. All fish had been fished up. Let's have a look at the collection. The fish with max underneath them were fish I got perfection on. So I have a long way to go to get perfection on all the fish. The next day, Willie sends me a star drop for collecting all the fish. It's actually very sad because Willie said he doesn't have any kids to give the star drop onto, so he just gives it to me. I really hope in the near future Willie finds love, because he deserves it. Everyone deserves love. It was back to the dig site today. We were looking for fossils to give in to Professor Snail because I wanted to get more golden walnuts from him. I also got Clint to break open a few golden coconuts here. You always get a golden walnut from the first one. And I got very lucky and I managed to get one of the fossils needed for Professor Snail from the second one. Now I got a lot of bone fragments already from the dig site, so I just needed to kill a few skeletons to complete Gunther's quest. That was easy enough to do. That was Fragments of the Past completed. 3,500 gold in the bag. So Clint was looking for bars, he got an iron bar, he was happy. That was a favour for Clint done. 500 gold in the bag. It was back to the desert trader for another magic rock candy. We were then back to the volcano dungeon. I picked up the dragon scale boots. I was delighted with those. A +7 defense is what I needed so badly. I now had a really nice setup, 2 lucky rings and the dragon scale boots. I got something I never got before from a chest. I found an old blueprint, some sort of dwarvish blueprint. It must be related to the MARGO mod, so we're going to hand that into Clint eventually, and we're going to start some sort of dwarf quest. I also picked up a golden egg from killing an enemy inside the volcano. That is going to get me a golden chicken. And the game breaking thing here is you can only get a golden egg once you have attained perfection in the game. So to get golden chickens before perfection is going to be a very interesting mechanic. Went back to the Statue of Prestige, reset my foraging skills to accumulate more foraging perks in the future. Gus was on the resort today, so I purchased the chocolate curry recipe straight away, because you could go a whole year without Gus actually visiting the resort. So my advice, if you see Gus at the resort, get that recipe off me straight away. It's one of the hardest recipes to obtain because it's not guaranteed to be gotten at any time in the game. You can only get it when he visits the resort, and it's pure RNG. You might not ever visit the resort, just so you know. So if you see him, just use up that 5,000 gold and grab the recipe. I got a cutscene here for George, and this activates when you accumulate enough friendship points with him. And because I chose the right option, I got 1 point here for the hero's journey, which was to offer sage advice to a townsfolk. It was also Evelyn's birthday, so I gave her a diamond, and we were back slaying void enemies for monster eradication goals. I just got a red mullet there from killing one of the void monsters. I also turned another one into a golden chicken. The Wappajack is such a fun enchant to use. It just makes the game so funny. I used the rain totem and I managed to blow a hole in the old Georgia Mart to get at the hidden bundles. Level 5 foraging again, this time we're taking lumberjack. Felled trees yield 25% more wood. I already took the forager before, so I should already have that perk accessible to me. It's time to collect more iridium bars today, and here is another classic scene from Stardew Valley. How would you classify a tomato? It is of course a vegetable. Anybody who says otherwise are just straight up wrong. Let me know in the comments what you think. It was time to get Robin to upgrade my house again, because I needed to get some sort of silver star wine for the secret bundles. And as we can see, I have lots of lava eels in my fishing pond. I had to let them go because I needed caviar, so I tried a sturgeon in there instead. It was then time to go back to the travelling cart, this time trading in on the geodes for artifact droves because I now needed artifacts over minerals. And once I have all the artifacts accumulated, I would then be one step closer to perfection, because you have to give in all the minerals and artifacts to Gunther in order to achieve perfection. It's one of the steps necessary. It was back to the dig site, blowing open more nodes to get more artifacts. Professor Snail's quests were coming along quite well. I got a banana sapling, but there was no point for that now, really, because I already got the golden waters from the monkey. I suppose I do need bananas in the future if I wanted to make the obelisk to warp to Ginger Island, so I do plant it regardless. So I got loads of ancient fruit today from the greenhouse, and they would all be transferred back into ancient fruit seeds so I can fill up the greenhouse with ancient fruit. So we're well on the way to getting a greenhouse filled up to the top with lovely ancient fruit that can be turned into ancient fruit wine eventually. It was time to get more oak resins, and then all of my lovely mahogany trees were fully grown, so I was going to cut all those down to get more hardwood. I'm at over 350,000 gold today, primarily from selling lots of bits and bobs, but the big heavy hitters in terms of money were iridium bars and wine. It was Leah's birthday today. Gave her a salad. She was impressed. Then it was back down to the mines, killing void monsters and everything in between. I was having a great time using this Blade of Ruin. It was getting much stronger. I wanted to see how strong it could become, but because it was getting stronger, it was draining more and more HP every time I started to use it. If you look at my health there, as you can see, it's dropping very, very quickly upon each swing. But the Wappajack enchant is just too funny to pass up. Level 10 combat, we had Brute, taking damage builds Rage, improving combat prowess, plus 25 HP also. Then we had Bushwhacker, crit chance, 50% increase. Strikes have a chance to poach items from enemies. That is very interesting, but for now, I went with Brute because I wanted to see how this limit gauge worked. Very interesting indeed. So it was time to upgrade my house even further, 100,000 gold for the seller. Thank you very much, Robin. It was then onwards to the next community quest. We had Cave Patrol and Aquatic Overpopulation. We're going to go with Cave Patrol. He just wants 50 bats slain. Easy enough for Clint. This was the week of Clint because we had his community quest. It was also his birthday this week, and we also got him as a secret Santa. So we were easily going to max out Clint's friendship this week between those three events. I decided to do another quarry run today in the hopes of getting a magic rock candy from the Floaty Skulls that wasn't meant to be. For Clint's secret gift, I gave him a gold star rabbit's foot. That was going to be a massive friendship boost with him. Vincent gave me a rainbow shell. That was actually quite nice, and a rainbow shell is needed for a key quest down the road. We're now processing pumpkins into pumpkin juice, and Clint said he's going to get started on that dwarvish blueprint that I gave him. I just have to give him a couple of days to sort it out. Unfortunately, we're at the end of the challenge. We don't get to see how that quest unfolds, but if you want a 200-day video, let me know in the comments if you enjoy this MARGO mod so far. I switched back to the Galaxy Dagger, the Blade of Ruin. It was just way too hard to handle now. It was taking up too much health. Unfortunately, I couldn't get rid of the Blade of Ruin. Couldn't even put it in a chest. It was stuck to my inventory. The golden chicken hatched, so that was going to be golden eggs in the next few days. I was super excited with that. The horrible thing about the Blade of Ruin is that if I attempt to swap out tools, there is a chance it will automatically bring me to the Blade of Ruin, which reduces my HP. So it was becoming quite the problematic weapon. Sturgeon wanted a diamond. I obliged, of course, because I want caviar as quickly as possible. It was time for the cutscene between Hayley and Emily having an argument. I said, Hayley, can this just be your only job? Come on now. Don't do that to your sister. You have to contribute. And I was given more points for that for the Hero's Journey quest. It was then time to slay some bats for Clint's quest, and I had a few days to do that. When that was finished, I got 6,000 gold off Clint. I was super happy. I also put a crystal fruit wine into one of the kegs here, and once that becomes a silver star wine, I'll be able to put that into one of the hidden bundles. So Clint says he's not finished deciphering the dwarvish blueprint just yet. Come back the next day. So unfortunately, because this is the end of winter, we have to wait until the next video to see what happens with the Blade of Ruin and what happens with that dwarvish blueprint. I did make almost 4 million gold for this challenge. I could have made a lot more if I was a lot more stricter on money making techniques, but because I was going for perfection, I didn't really need to prioritize huge amounts of money in the first year, so it ended up being more of an even playthrough rather than a money hungry playthrough like the last couple of videos. But 3.8 million still isn't too shabby, and I had 1.5 million on me to spend on stuff as well. I also had a huge array of goat and cow's milk that I could convert into cheese, and for the next video we're also going to end up with a greenhouse filled up to the top with ancient fruit. So there you have it, folks. That is another 100-day challenge done using the MARGO mod. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see a continuation, just like the video and let me know in the comments. If the video does well, I will absolutely do a continuation. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.